All right, today we're going to talk about something that might just flip your whole idea of what it means to be an expert at, well, anything. It's all about what mastery really is. And the whole thing kicks off with this one kind of baffling statement. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. A guy who can literally take a car engine apart and put it back together says he doesn't know how to fix cars. I mean, how is that even possible? That's the puzzle, right? That's the paradox we're going to get into today. And look, the guy who said this, he wasn't just some weekend hobbyist. No, he was a total pro, a real veteran. And he wasn't kidding, he wasn't being falsely modest, he actually genuinely believed it. So that's the big question that's going to guide us here. It really makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about being an expert. And to get to the bottom of it, we have to understand who this mechanic really was. Okay, so to get his perspective, let's just look at the facts. Starting with this number right here, 33. 33 years. That's how long he worked as a master mechanic. We're not talking about some rookie, right? This guy was a seasoned pro at the absolute top of his game with a whole career built on real hands-on skill. And then you've got this number, 500,000. That's how many miles he would get out of his own cars. Like on the regular. That's real-world proof of just how good he was. And it's that kind of result that makes what he said, that he doesn't know how to fix cars, so confusing. And this part is so important. He wasn't just saying that to get someone to say, oh, of course you do. He meant it. He really believed that even with everything he knew, he was still just a student. So what was he getting at? Okay, to really get inside his head, we need to break down this idea that a lot of us have. It's called the myth of arrival. You know, this belief that being an expert is like a place, a destination you can finally get to. And this, right here, perfectly shows the two different ways of thinking about it. On one side, you've got how most people see it. Mastery is a finish line. You cross it, you get the medal, and that's it. Learning's over. But on the other side, you've got the master's view, our mechanic's view. For him, expertise wasn't a destination. It was a direction, something you're always moving towards. And see, that's the real trap of that finish line way of thinking. It gives you this false sense that you're done, that there's nothing left to learn. And where that leads, well, it's a pretty big deal. Yep, there it is. The second you think you've arrived, you've actually stopped moving forward. You've basically shut the door on any new knowledge. You mistook a single step for the end of the entire journey. So, if mastery isn't a place you get to, then what is it? Well, this leads us to a much more powerful idea. Mastery is a direction. This is the whole idea in a nutshell. Mastery isn't a thing you have, it's a thing you do. It's this constant process of moving toward, well, a horizon of deeper and deeper understanding. And you know you're never going to actually get there, but the whole point is the chase. I know, it might sound a little cliche. It's about the journey, right? But in this case, it is absolutely true. The real value, the real growth, all that expertise, it's all built in that daily grind of learning and practicing and just trying to get a little bit better. Okay, so what does this whole story about the mechanic mean for you and me? How do we take this idea and actually use it in our own lives with our own skills and goals? Let's really chew on that for a second. If a guy with over 3 decades of intense, practical experience, a guy who can make a car last for 500,000 miles, if he still saw a never-ending road of learning in front of him, then what does that say about the rest of us? It's a pretty humbling thought, right? But it's also kind of freeing. It takes all that pressure off of having to arrive and just puts the focus on moving. It gives you permission to always be a student, which is a great place to be. So here's the bottom line. The most important thing is to just figure out your direction and keep walking. It doesn't matter if you're learning to play guitar or speak a new language or write code or even just be a better person. The goal isn't to get to the end of the road. The goal is to just love the walk. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. What's your horizon? What's that one direction you're pointed in? What's the thing you're willing to be a student of for the rest of your life? Always moving, always learning, and knowing you'll never truly arrive?